As we begin to warm ourselves up, two things before we begin our services. One, we should all have a candle with a bobashe on it, or bobesh on it, depending how you like to pronounce that. And that's for the end of services. But also, our B'nai Mitzvah families will be called up one or two at a time, and that's for our bar bat mitzvah child and their parents and their siblings as well. We'll call you up together at that time. But lastly, as we begin our meditation, our time, make sure you know the people around you, like we always do when we're at temple. Turn to someone near you might not know. Introduce yourself to them. Wish them Shavua Tov.
Return to who you are. Return to what you are. Return to where you were born and reborn and reborn. Return again. Return again. Return to the land of your soul.
Begin our service of Selichot on the inside of the cover of our prayer books, or Selichot prayer books we have uniquely for tonight. In the synagogues of Eastern Europe, a most unusual custom was observed on the evening of Yom Kippur. Prior to chanting of Kol Nidre, each congregant was expected to approach another and ask forgiveness. Each person would move to another and whisper, Zait mir mochel, please forgive me. Upon hearing the request, the listener would respond, Ich bin dir mochel, I forgive you. Immediately after the reply, the individual would whisper to the person he had just forgiven and saying, Zait mir mochel, please forgive me. People who loved each other and bitter enemies alike would take part in this particular tradition. If two people refused to draw near, a neutral party would intervene, physically force one or the other to take the initiative. Hurts were not always healed, but lesser arguments were assuaged. Antagonisms were sometimes softened, insensitivities were absolved. Tonight, for us, Selichot takes the place of this ceremony. So we begin tonight with the changing of our Torah covers. Each of them has its own history. We are the people of the book. We're the people of our Torah. It is the stories that we live, the stories we learn, the stories that each year our lens gives us insight into and knowledge from as well. But what's unique is that while every Torah is exactly the same, with the 5 books of Moses, each of our Torahs is unique because of its history. And some of that we knew when we were able to acquire the Torah. Some of that we've learned over the years with our relationships with different scribes as they have investigated them and brought them to light and shared with us a little more as well. So our tradition at Temple is that we call upon our bar and bat mitzvah families to help us dress those Torahs as we take each out and honor that and tell its stories. So I'm going to invite the Bershad family forward first, Adam and Liv Bershad with their parents, Ben and Becca, to help us as we take our first Torah from the Ark. And although the Ark will be opened and the Torahs will all come, we'll be standing for a while. So if you're comfortable, you can stay seated. It's okay right now. The first Torah we're going to take out is our 25th anniversary Torah, the Zif Torah. Many of us in the sanctuary today helped write that Torah, wrote a letter or two in that Torah as we celebrated Temple's 25th anniversary in 2013 and 2014, a year-long project. Families would each hold that quill with the scribe and write a letter. 354 of the letters of this Torah were written here on the Bima at Temple Shir Shalom by us. It brought the Torah to life. The majority of the letters of the Torah were written in Jerusalem by a scribe there. So it's considered the Jerusalem font. But it's our Torah, unique for us, our congregation. Many of our children for the past decade have chosen to read this Torah because they would have a memory of having written in it. But that was 11 years ago. So now a new generation of Bar Bat Mitzvah students learn the story, having not written in it. But maybe their parents did. Maybe their grandparents did, uniquely for us as well. I invite up the Leafers, Graham and Harrison, along with just Amy tonight, just with her mom, to help us in dressing our Ukrainian Torah. Our Ukrainian Torah was the third Torah Temple Shir Shalom was able to acquire, to get. For years, that was in 1991. Today, that Torah is about 195 years old. What we knew of the Torah was that it was brought to us by immigrants from that area of the world, from Odessa. For the 70 years prior to coming to us, from 1920 on, it had lived in Odessa. That's what we knew. So we called it the Russian Torah. Well, two things have happened since then. One, a scribe in examining the Torah about 15 years ago taught me that the letters are written in the Dutch style. What does that mean? I don't know. It means like I like to type in Garamond and you like Palatino and you like Times New Roman. They're fonts of Hebrew, but a trained eye could tell certain letters slant a little bit this way and certain ones that way, and that's how the Dutch write them. We don't know the 100 years before 1920 where it dwelled. Was it written in Holland by a Dutch scribe? Was it written in Russia by a Dutch scribe who happened to live there? Was it written there by a scribe who brought his teaching to scribes there? And then 3 years ago when the war began in Ukraine, we realized that it actually came to us before Ukraine was independent, but shortly thereafter, it was no longer Russia, it was Ukraine. To honor that independence, we decided instead of calling it our Russian Torah, we call it our Ukrainian Torah. I'd like to invite up the Lorbers to join us. We have Ari is here with her parents Stephanie and Abe. And they'll have the honor of holding our bridal gown Torah, the first Torah of Temple Shir Shalom. Many of you know the story. In 1988, when Temple began with 30, then 100, then 433 families, and we had an office building to gather in. We did not have a Torah. And a woman came to see Rabbi Daniel Schwartz of blessed memory, and brought this Torah to him. She found the Torah in her attic, wrapped up in her wedding dress. Unbeknownst to her, the Torah had been taken from the synagogue in Berlin, the progressive synagogue in Berlin, by this woman's father of blessed memory, who was the vice president of the synagogue. It's a bar mitzvah Torah, one a child could study from. It's smaller, and so gave this Torah, the man took this Torah, and he brought it because they were going to leave Nazi Germany in 1937. The Nazis had gained power, the Holocaust had not begun, but they realized what the future might hold, and they were leaving for America. But they also realized they couldn't take a Torah with them, so he took the Torah off the wood dowels and hid it in his daughter's wedding gown. Wound up tightly so no one would know, didn't tell his daughter it was there, and so they were able to walk past the guards without anyone giving away anything. And it went up into the attic, and that was that. Well, she had sons, and they were now married, and she was a woman well into her 80s and going through her possessions, and she opened up her wedding dress for the first time and found this Torah hidden in there. It was covered with spider webs, with like a silk web over it, because it hadn't been hermetically sealed as she thought for all those years. And she brought the Torah to us and said, use it in our family's memory, use it with their story in mind. For our first 3 years was the only Torah we had, so we always read that Torah on Rosh Hashanah. It's always that story we tell. Today, it being over 185 years old. I'd like to invite Madison Brand to come forward with her parents, Kevin and Stacy. And they will be taking out the Alt New Torah. The Alt New Torah is the Old New Torah. Torah was brought to us in honor of our 10th anniversary in 1998. It actually got to us in 99. It was discovered in 1998. A scribe had written 3 Torahs in Nazi Berlin in 1942 in hiding, and hid the Torahs in a barn in 3 rectangular boxes. He eventually was captured by the Nazis and murdered. The Torahs were discovered in 1998 when they were destroying that barn to make room for an industrial park. And the German Jewish community wanted the Torahs to come to new communities, new congregations, to help tell their story, to help hold on to the story. So the Torah literally was almost 60 years old when it was brought to us, never having been read before. So we called it the Old New Torah. So for us, it brings that back to life as it's in perfect condition as well. I'd like to call up the Fyanders, Malcolm with his parents, Brian and Melanie, and his brother, Dylan, along with the Fishers, Jack Fisher, along with his parents, Gabe and Lisa. Is Renee here too? Okay. To help us with our Jerusalem Torah, or sometimes we call it the Schwartz Torah as well. This is one of our youngest Torahs. It's only 32 years old. We got this Torah 20 years ago when Rabbi Daniel Schwartz's first grandson was born, when Gabriel was born. And Daniel believed, as we all would hope, that we should have Torahs from all around the globe, but we didn't have a Torah from Israel. And so it wouldn't be nice if we had a Torah from Jerusalem. So Daniel helped us get this Torah in honor of his first grandchild. And so we call it our Jerusalem Torah, or our Schwartz Torah, and being one of our youngest ones. And since that time, of course, when we wrote our own Torah, a little bit later, we have another Torah from Israel as well. Gotta see which Torahs are left there. I would like Connor Riley to bring his mom, Darcy, and his sister, Madison, as well, as we will help dress the Lithuanian Torah, or the Bass Torah. The Lithuanian Torah is a Torah we know the least amount about. But Stuart Bass, when he was president of Temple, really wanted us to have a Torah from Lithuania, where his family came from, many of whom were lost in the Holocaust. We know this Torah is about 175 years old, but I'm always amazed that we don't know what was going on in this Torah's life before we were able to get it 20 years ago. Right? I mean, think about 1.5 million Jews, a vibrant Jewish community in Lithuania, all gone. What happened to these synagogues that sat empty, these arks that sat with Torahs in them, many of them? And kind people went around and were able to collect Torahs over time and get them to living communities. So, as we put the word out that we wanted a Torah from Lithuania, we were able to find this one. And so it's actually a mystical Torah, because every few columns you'll find a pei within a pei. If you know Hebrew and you know the Hebrew letter pei, there's an extra pei within it. So it's a whole lecture about why scribes might do that. A special kind of scribe, a Kabbalistic scribe, might have done that. Not as typical for 170 years ago, more of an ancient thing, but another of the mysteries that exist in this Torah. And so, wait, who did I miss? Lindsay, along with your parents, Lindsay, bring James and Mickey Rubenstein up too to join us as well. Lindsay was ready. And so it's nice that you guys are here, because your mom may have read from this Torah. This Torah is our oldest Torah 470 years old, from Kolin, Czechoslovakia. We call it the Kolin Torah. We call it the Holocaust Torah. It was the second Torah temple was able to get in 1991. But this Torah story, of course, is the fact that Hitler wanted to make a museum about the people he was going to wipe out. So when communities were destroyed, when synagogues were destroyed, Kiddush cups, candlesticks, Torahs were acquired, were collected, and they used the Great Synagogue in Prague as a warehouse for that. It wasn't until 1964 that people got back to the Great Synagogues. It sat there with all of these possessions in there. And a synagogue called the Westminster Synagogue in London, England, took upon itself to get these Torahs back into good shape and to bring them to life and to bring them to communities who would help tell their story. Like I said, this Torah was part of that collection. The Nazis, being so meticulous in their details, have it numbered 1,182 carved into it. There were 1,564 Torahs that were found, but they were stacked up somewhere in moisture and water. It's faded. It's difficult to read. But when the scribes were here writing our Torahs 10 years ago, or in 2013, they told us it's genuine. It's part of that community. It is this old because the Kolin Jewish community was a mixture of Ashkenazic and Sephardic. It was like this land bridge, and different traditions came together. So it's got writing in it that's of Sephardic style and writing of it that's Ashkenazic style. You find inflated words in there or letters in there, like a secret love letter that a scribe was writing to his bride, to someone else. Sort of the cool mysteries that are within them. Every Torah is unique. Every Torah tells the same stories, but every Torah has its own story. When our children become bar and bat mitzvah at Temple Shir Shalom, 3 or 4 weeks before that day, they come to the Ark with Rabbi or me, and they hear the stories of our Torahs, and they pick which one they want to read. And they can pick any of these 8 Torahs. And they make that a part of their bar mitzvah, their bat mitzvah, the part of their process, part of their experience, part of what they personally might connect with. And it's part of the beauty of what Temple is and what we create with our youth as well. And so we return our Torahs to the Ark now. Oh, there's one more Torah left? Thanks, Rabbi. I did my conclusion already. And we take the American Torah out now. Well, who did I miss out there? Rabbi Daniel, you're going to become bar mitzvah then. You got it? You have one? Our American Torah is, remember that red wine we had back there? Sorry. The American Torah is our only Torah from America. It's a great story, thanks to a family here that hearkened from outside Flint, where the Torah lived in the synagogue. The bat mitzvah family of this generation's great-great-grandfather had it commissioned in honor of great-great-grandma, because great-great-grandma had a dream, and in her dream she wasn't healthy. She would only be healthy if a Torah was written for her. So he went to New York and brought back this Torah in her honor. We've always called it the American Torah, as it came in 1938 from America, but what our scribes taught us this past year is it's actually a Polish Torah. Torahs weren't being written in New York in 1938. We are still getting them from Europe. Maybe it was compiled, put together. It's part of our story. It's part of that as well. Part of the beauty that we share together. All the Torahs are out? Yes. So if you'll help us return the Torahs to the Ark now as well. The next time we see all the Torahs out will be on Kol Nidre. We do this uniquely on Selichot as part of the time together, and then again on Yom Kippur. We begin with Havdalah, the service which separates Sabbath from the rest of the days of the week, the holy from the profane. Selichot begins another time to distinguish, to separate with this evening. We separate the holy days from the rest of the year. Our prayers tonight help us begin again. They help us to turn. They help us to set our mind and our thoughts straight. Selichot creates within us a sense of relationship, first with ourselves, then with everyone around us, and finally with God. Maker of the universe, great and holy God, your wisdom rules the world. You give courage to the faint of heart. Your love sustains and shields us. Blessings without number you bestow upon us. We thank you for the life with which you've given us, for the manifold bounties with which you have favored us during this past year. And now, as we approach the new year, we beseech you to grant us life and sustenance, strength and happiness. Together, remember us unto life, O God, who delights in life. Inscribe us in the book of life, you who are the giver of life. We give thanks for the Sabbath day, which is now concluding. We're grateful for the peace and joy it's brought to our soul. May its message be a part of our life as we embark on this new week. May its meaning lift us up a more satisfying and sensitive existence that helps us create a good feeling for all who know us. May our celebration of Shabbat show us a way to a sweeter present. We give thanks for the sweetness in our lives as we raise the cup filled with wine, the cup filled with life.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri agafen borei peri
Blessed is the eternal our God, ruler of the universe, creator of the fruit of the vine. May we use our God-given gifts to help others and ourselves. May we take the time and care to preserve our universe so the spice of life and the air we live by may be inhaled without fear.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei minei v'samim borei minei v'samim.
Blessed is the eternal our God, ruler of the universe, creator of the variety of spices. Shabbat is over. A new day has arrived. A new week has begun.
An
old year is departing. A new year is on the horizon. When heavy burdens oppress us and our spirits grow faint, and the gloom of failure settles upon us, help us to see through the darkness to the light beyond. To you, O God, we turn for understanding. Turn to us and help us. When we are tempted to suppress the voice of conscience, to call evil good and good evil, turn our hearts to the rights of others and make us more responsive to their needs. To you, O Eternal, we turn for guidance. Turn to us and help us. And when we become immersed in material cares and worldly pleasures, forgetting you, may we find that all things bear witness to you, O God, and let them lead us back into your presence. To you, O God,
we turn for meaning.
Turn to us
and help us.
Now is the time for turning. The leaves are beginning to turn from green to red and orange. The birds are beginning to turn and are heading south once more. The animals are beginning to turn towards storing their food for the winter. For leaves, birds, and animals, turning comes instinctively. But for us, turning does not come so easily. It takes an act of will for us to make a turn. It means breaking with old habits. It means admitting that we have been wrong. And this is never easy. It means losing face. It means starting all over again. And this is always painful. It means saying, I am sorry. It means recognizing that we have the ability to change. These things are terribly hard to do. But unless we turn, we will be trapped forever in yesterday's ways. God, help us to turn from callousness to sensitivity, from hostility to love, from pettiness to purpose, from envy to contentment, from carelessness to discipline, from fear to faith. Turn us around, God, and bring us back toward you. Revive our lives as at the beginning, and turn us toward each other. God, for in isolation, there is no life.
Hashivenu, Hashivenu, Adonai, Elecha, Vena, Shuva, Vena,
We turn to you to help us lift the burdens of our souls. For there's none of us so virtuous or proud whose hearts does not cry out, despite him or herself, for forgiveness. May the light of the candles we light and see remind us that we not only have to be a light unto the nations, but we must shed light on our torments and our trials.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei meorei ha'esh borei meorei ha'esh.
Blessed is the eternal our God, ruler of the universe, creator of the lights of fire. Please rise. For the sin which we have sinned against another human being, under stress or through choice. For the sin
which we have sinned against another human being, openly or in secret.
For the sin which we have sinned against another human being in stubbornness or in error.
For the sin which we have sinned against another human being,
through the evil meditation
of the heart.
For the sin which we have sinned against another human being by word of mouth. For the
Sin in which we have sinned against another human being by the profaning of your name.
For the sin which we have sinned against another human being by hating without cause. Ve'al kulam Eloha Selichot, Salach lanu, Mechal lanu, Kaper lanu. For all these sins, O God of mercy,
Mercy.
Forgive us, pardon us,
grant us atonement.
Ve'al kulam Eloha Selichot, Selach lanu, Mechal lanu, Kaper lanu. Ve'al kulam
Our God and Creator, each of us calls to you from the depths of our own being. Each of us is alone in our thoughts, each one solitary in our prayers in this hour of Selichot, and yet not alone and not solitary. Each one of us is part of our heritage. The Jewish people speaks to us. A faith embraces us. A noble history sustains us. A holy covenant exalts us. Help us, O God, to be ever grateful for the shared identity and destiny, for the courage that the centuries of stubborn resistance to evil have stored up. Join our spirits together, O God, until they become an invincible power against the pain in the world. Join our hands together, O Eternal, that they become a mighty instrument for the advancement of human life.
As Shabbat ends, so do we turn to each other and say, Zait mir machol, please forgive me, to one we love, to one we've hurt, to one we've wronged. And let our response be, Ich bin dir machol, I forgive you. And so we pass the flames from one to the other, and we say these words to each other as we take our moment intimately with those around us and ask for forgiveness of each other. So the tradition is we turn to those around us and we can say to them, Zait mir machol, please forgive me. And then you say, Ich bin dir machol, I forgive you. And then you blow each other's candles out after you each say it.
Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Chaneinu Baneinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Chaneinu Baneinu.
After you forgive each other, you blow each other's candles out as well. Right here, bro.
Zait mir machol.
Ich bin dir machol.
Shavua tov, 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 Shavua tov. A good week, a week of peace. May gladness reign and joy increase. A good week, a week of peace. May gladness reign and joy increase.
Hashivenu Adonai Elohecha v'nashuva chadesh yamenu kikedem. Help us return to you, God. Then truly shall we return. Renew our days as in the past.
Hashivenu, Hashivenu, Adonai Elecha, v'nashuva,
Tekiah Gdolah.
Yasher Koach.
And we say, as we begin this spirit in this time of repentance, as we hear the sound of the shofar as that wake-up call, as we turn to those around us who we love, those we know, asking for forgiveness, looking within ourselves to know what we can do, how we can do better in each of our lives. So do we remind ourselves, may God give strength to all people, bless all of us here and everywhere with peace. We say Shavua Tov.
Shavua Tov.
Say Shana Tova, everyone.
Shana Tova.
Shana Tova.
And thank you to Keith Fishman for blowing our shofar.
Yay!
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Keith.
A little music, a little one.